Hello beautiful Gemini, welcome to my channel Mana. My name is Adalina Bonn. Welcome to all of the newbies who have flooded in recently. It is such a pleasure to have you guys on the journey with me, Gem. For those of you who are new, okay, I don't work with the tarot. My readings aren't date specific. All right, so there could be something here from a few weeks or months ago that could help you in the present moment, okay? And it goes without saying that this is a general read, all right? That's my other third thing that I normally say. So there may or may not be something in here for you. But look, what can we get? The gorgeous Gemini over the week ahead. What can we get the Geminis? You're the first one off the block, Gem, always, each week. Gemini over the week ahead. Okay, Luathas the Wild. You might be dealing with a fire sign, but this is you. This is you. This is you. The Inspiration Fairy, she of the Cruac. All right, someone's absolutely Romeo, masks off. Okay, here we go. Right, I'll hold these up. You're coming across this week, Gemini, as Luathas the Wild. Now you're not. It's making me smile because you're not normally fire. Okay, it is your opposite. Fire, elementally, fire is obviously your opposite. Sagittarius is your counterpart in the wheel, right? So I do want to say that whoever this Inspiration Fairy is for you, now don't get hung up on the gender here, okay? Because this person's coming across as both Penelope. If we've got you here, you know, on it like a car bonnet, Luathas the Wild is pure kinetic driving force, okay? It's the impetus behind the chariot. It is the essence of acceleration. It's also in the book. The traditional description of this card is the love at first sight card. It's just knowing it when you see it, and then without any delay, foot on the pedal, 200 miles an hour. You know, it's that energy. But because I do want to say that because elementally this is your opposite, Gem, it's almost like they've flipped you. They've judo flipped you, but in a good way, or certainly if this is not about another person, I'll get onto them in a second, then maybe there's an opportunity that it could be work related, and it's flipped you into Luathas. It's flipped you into mine. That's mine, okay? Forward moving, claiming, basically, is what I'm wanting to say. You're coming across in a spirit of claiming victory, claiming gold. Now the person that you're dealing with is presenting as, or whatever this opportunity is for you, okay? We've got here Penelope Dreamweaver, which is my muse card. She's referred to as the Inspiration Fairy. It's the muse, okay? And I do want to say muse because we also had Romeo pop up over here before. This is my Romeo card. Longing from a distance, you know, but I'm just hearing here, when you wish upon a star. That's kind of, I don't know if you're dealing with someone famous, Gemini. I don't know if you're dealing with someone famous because they're in the spotlight. They've got you in the palm of their hands, clearly. All right, but it's something illuminated. It's somebody that's illuminated. And you're looking at them, you're looking up and at them, or just at them, okay? And if it's a job opportunity, it's like, it's lit up, all right? It's almost like whoever or whatever this is, that's given you a forward, giving you a push of some description into movement. It's almost like seeing a bookshop with all the lights on, but late at night. And it's just beautiful. It's quite enchanting, is what I'm trying to say, is the energy. I don't know if you guys have ever had that experience. You know, you're walking late at night in a city. It's all dark, and you know, but there might be a quaint little bookshop that has its front lights on with books in the front window, and it's just enchanting. That's the vibe I'm getting off this person, all right, or this new opportunity. Whoever or what this is for you is also in tandem with inspiration, muse, illuminating, inspiring, kind of. I do want to say that they're also it's also something or someone that is not giving you a eureka moment, but this is inspiration of the mind, which you love. They've managed to penetrate or light up the mind space for you with new concepts, new ideas for the future. All right, there's something about this character that has lit up your mind, which is your language. Okay, because I'm getting here next to she of the Cruac, which is how she's also coming across. Don't get hung up on the gender. Gemini ladies, this could be a guy doing this for you. Okay, she of the Cruac is Scottish for mother. Okay, it's the Cruac is, think Ace of Cups but yummier. You know, it's an energetic principle of feminine overflow. It's all things related to the feminine principle: nourishing, comforting, emotionally sustaining, emotional depth. Okay, something very, very healthy, comfortable, yummy, familiar, safe, just all that yumminess. Okay, and so there's two things on that, right, Gem? Partly is I want to say this is an incredibly positive connection, so have no doubts about that. All right, I do feel like they are maybe reactivating dormant parts of emotional relating for you. Okay, but if we didn't have, if we didn't have the inspiration fairy, I get the sense here that maybe up until now or up until recently, the relationship was primarily in the realm of emotional connection, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. Very, very strong heart bond is what I'm getting between the two of you. What seems to have happened recently with inspiration fairy here, it's just taken it up to a new level. Because what may have been, like I've just described, predominantly in the warm fuzzy area, okay, huge feeling for each other, you know, a pervading sense of contentment and safety, but in a way that might have just been very comfortable or maybe just too familiar. All right, whatever this new insight has been about this person, they've suddenly flipped into inspiration fairy. They've suddenly, like I was describing earlier, they've suddenly become, I don't know if they've done something, said something, revealed something, maybe revealed something about themselves, or if it's a job opportunity, just suddenly become available. You know, whatever it is, it's gone from a feeling of emotional contentment, but and maybe sexual attraction, because this is my yummy mummy card, okay, which is all great and fine, but it's like for a Gemini, it needs the higher peak, because I think before it was lacking maybe vision or a line of sight of where it was going or what it could be for you. Okay, it was down in the feeling realm, is just what I'm trying to describe. Something's changed with this person that's brought it up, been able to lift your gaze up into the realm of the mind to really see them. I hope that makes sense, which has got you on it like a car bonnet. It's now finally got both. The relationship or the opportunity is now balanced with both. All of the heartfelt connection, all of that intuitive sense of kinship, companionship, okay, however that applies. But now it's like finally you're firing on all cylinders together in the mind space, because I think you've been given, with this as a combination, you've been given some kind of a sneak peek, Gemini. You've been given a sneak peek into the inner workings of their mind. But because they don't speak your same language, and what I mean by that is they're striking me more like water. Okay, this could be a water sign that you're dealing with, Gem. But their primary language is in the realm of intuition, you know, feelings. They're very good with touch, is also what I'm getting. Yummy mummy card, healing touch. So it might just be a touch on the elbow, or they gesticulate a lot with their hands, which is what I'm doing here. They communicate with their hands, but there's something very key about they've got the lightest feather touch, but very, very healing. So this is the type of person that they often get overlooked, or no, because they're coming up as a star. They're coming up as in the spotlight. It's not that they get overlooked, but the depth, here we go, the depth and nuance of their medicine can often get overlooked. This is the type of person who is not fully appreciated until after they've gone. Okay? They work at profoundly deep levels, all right, in terms of connecting with others. Human relationships are sort of their forte, okay? But it's still rivers that run deep. Their influence is not immediately obvious on the surface. It's not all razzle-dazzle on the surface. That they could, a bit like Strider in Lord of the Rings, okay? I always use Lord of the Rings analogies. Back in his early days, he could just slip in and out. But he's the future king of Gondor, okay? It's this type of... If I was to give them an animal totem, because I've heard that some of you guys love it when I go off on totems. If I was to give this person an animal totem, it would be fox. Okay, because fox is the medicine of camouflage, but it's also yummy mummy. Okay, so it's almost like, I don't know if they've been a bit hidden or camouflaged from you up until now. It's got this sort of vibe, Gem. All right, but they're taking the hood off here. Something's lifted into, you've been given a sneak peek into what it is that they really think, what it is that they value, what's important to them, their core values, okay? And you've realised that the two of you share the same values. Different ways of communicating it, different forms of expression, different modus operandi. You both have different approaches to life, but there's something about this character. You've just come into awareness about something about them, and you've realised we are exactly the same in terms of our core essential values are exactly the same. Okay, it's really, really beautiful. So Gem, coming back, you know, over to the Romeo card as we move through the spread here. We've now got the Romeo card, and there is a sense of distance between the two of you. I've got to be honest, because this is my longing from a distance, you know. I just want to get a clarifying card on that. What's this distance? What's the distance? Because I can already see the end of the spread, which is a full revelation between the two of you, a major conversation or a meeting of minds and hearts. But I just want to get a bit more on this distance. That old gnome. We've got that old gnome. Okay. With the unfinished business card. I don't know if this was, well, I do want to say this was you, Gem. Take this fight. It could be them, but my specific question was why the distance between Gemini and this person, certainly up until now. We go and get the Magician card, which is you, okay, but it's also my long distance. It confirms that yes, in fact, this has been, I don't know if there's geographical separation between the two of you, but it's almost, I'm just hearing the phrase wild and woolly adventures. That you, Gemini, because you're the Magician, I do want to say that this is coming in as you here. I'm just hearing that you may, whatever distance has been between the two of you, I do want to say it's predominantly because on your side, Gem, Magician, you've had to go on some wild and woolly adventures recently to tie up unfinished business. All right, whether that's been logistical, practical. I feel like some of you have literally been moving house or moving jobs or just traveling. You may have been overseas. There's something on your side of the connection, Gem. You've been tied up. But also, if it's not that you've been on physical journeys and you've been physically elsewhere and physically tied up with other things, I almost want to say that you've been on your own sojourn, you've been on your own vision quest to tie up maybe things within you internally. You've had to go on some kind of internal vision quest recently, or literally a physical one. I'm now hearing the phrase soul retrieval, Gem. I don't know if you've recently had to initiate a bit of a soul retrieval, to go back to your ancient past, go back maybe, look back over the bones of old relationships, pick and basically retrieve lost parts of yourselves to get you fully back to the now moment. I hope that lands. So in summary, okay, for the first part of this reading, you've come into this connection with this person here has just reached a brand new level, because you've been given a sneak peek into the inner workings of them, which has made you have a eureka moment or a turn on moment of, okay, we're actually identical. We've got the same core values, all right? But for whatever reason, Romeo, there's been this sense of longing from afar or distance, or because your partner is coming up so strongly as this muse, like in the spotlight, you're presenting as a bit like one of the members of the audience. Okay, they might be rising. I do want to say, this could be a famous person or someone who is publicly recognized. Okay, and you're presenting this week as a little bit like, or certainly up until recently, you've just been one of the members of the crowd, one of the members of the audience, to use that metaphor, just watching this person, all right? But in fairness to you, I am getting a sense here that whilst they've been busy getting on with things and going from strength to strength, and shedding their layers, I'm getting here that you yourself, Gemini, have genuinely been on some kind of round the world trip. I'll just put it that way. You've been on a round the world trip of the self, cleaning up and regathering parts of yourself that you may have lost. Okay, or in a very 3D tangible way, you've just been tied up, is just what I'm hearing. You've been traveling, you've been away for Christmas, you've been moving house, you've been changing jobs, you've been sorting out your finances, however it applies. So I'm just going to describe it as Gemini's energy has been on some kind of round the world trip. You've not actually been available. You've not been available, is what I'm getting. But this is where we're screeching up from the recent past into the now. What is exciting me now is you're shifting into movement forward, Gem. Okay? This is now like off. I'm hearing off to the races. Things are now off to the races between the two of you over the week ahead, is what I'm hearing. So if you're curious, I'm really, really curious. I am going to unpack this. This just feels like a natural ending to part one. Okay, very exciting what's bubbling away here. You've both had to do your separate things recently. This person's had to rise like Juliet in the spotlight, and you've had to go off on some kind of cleanup, Romeo. Out through the outskirts, just getting things ready for the moment where we're now finding ourselves, which is the green light to move forward. Okay. I hope that lands. I am going to unpack this a little bit further. The link's just below, Gem. But if this is where we part ways, my friends, I hope you have a beautiful week ahead, and I cannot wait to tune in with you next Friday. Lots of love, Gem. Bye.